Hi everybody, Jennifer Schaus here, and we're coming to you live today from Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us in our Webinar Wednesday series. Every Wednesday in 2023, we are covering the top 40 U.S. federal contractors, and these will be every Wednesday at 12. Again, they are complimentary and are recorded. You can find over 600 government contracting webinars on our YouTube channel. They're also on our website. If you hop over to the YouTube channel and you follow our channel, you will get alerted of any time any new webinars are posted. Again, those are all complimentary. If you're looking just for the PowerPoint, you can hop over to slideshare.net, use your LinkedIn profile to log in, and you'll get also the 600 plus webinars that we've done, the PowerPoints that are associated with those. Okay, a quick blurb about us. We are based in downtown DC and primarily work with established government contractors. Our primary service focuses on contract vehicles, specifically the GSA schedule. We also put on quarterly events, webinars, and conferences throughout the year. To find out more about our services, you can visit our website, which is listed here on your screen. For anyone that's selling to federal government contractors, you can put on a webinar with us. You can advertise in our newsletter, and we also offer some postings on your behalf on our LinkedIn profile. If you want information about advertising or marketing to federal contractors, simply send us an email to hello@jenniferschaus.com. Okay, our webinars are complimentary thanks to our sponsors. So we're going to give them a shout out. We want to thank our friends at GovEvents, the premier platform for posting events related to government and government contracting. You can find all of our webinars and our events posted on govevents.com, as well as recordings from our past 600 plus webinars. We also want to thank Tom Johnson and his team at Set Aside Alert, the go-to publication for contracting opportunities for small, women-owned, veteran-owned, hub zone, and 8A firms. Visit setasidealert.com for more information. The Fairfax Economic Development Authority has an online calendar of events and webinars. We want to thank them for posting our events and webinars on their calendar. The GovSpend FedMine platform, the contracting data in the webinar series is provided by GovSpend and FedMine. The GovSpend FedMine vision is to be the leading trusted source of data, analytics, and insight for organizations buying and selling in the public sector. The FedMine Federal Solution integrates data from 18 federal data sources and sets and creates a single convenient database that places the key data points at your fingertips. GovSpend began as a spending and purchase order database, specifically within the state, local, and education sector. Today, the database includes contract opportunities within thousands of entities at the federal, state, local, and education organizations. With the acquisition of FedMine in 2021, the combined GovSpend and FedMine solution empower teams to make smarter decisions. Thank you to GovSpend and FedMine for providing the data in the webinar series this year and previous years. The Virginia PTAC, soon to be called Apex Accelerators. The Virginia PTAC at George Mason University in Virginia offers free one-on-one counseling to established government contracting firms in Virginia on federal, state, and local procurement topics. If you're interested in learning more, please use the links provided to explore services, review homework recommendations, register for live training, and find useful links to agencies and other self-directed learning. Online resources and group trainings are free with no restriction on business location. One-on-one counseling is, however, limited to eligible client companies. Okay, join the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce on May 4th from 8 to 1 for it'll be their 11th annual Business to Government Matchmaking Conference. You'll hear from speakers from both the government as well as large businesses. There will also be an expo. There are exhibiting and sponsorship opportunities. If you use the link novab2g.restonchamber.org, you'll get more information about the event as well as sponsorship opportunities. And bid speed, do you want help winning government contracts? Bid speed helps and you win. Opportunities from every federal, state, and local public source in the United States. Need to find a teaming partner, incumbent point of contact, expiring contracts, and more. What about a compliance matrix or proposal templates? Want a solution to win with your GSA schedule? Maybe an easier, better way? If you said yes, log in at bidspeed.com. Bidspeed helps you succeed and is an official partner of the US SBA's 7J Management and Technical Assistance Program. Get started today at bidspeed.com. FBC. Events are the ultimate engagement channel to bring government and industry together. 68% of government personnel report that they attend more than one event each year. The Federal Business Council has worked with government and industry for 45 plus years to create gatherings where ideas are shared and to help government achieve its goals. This includes agency industry days, cybersecurity symposiums, tech expos, and off-site meetings. FBC provides full lifecycle meeting planning and event management. With over 5,000 meetings under their belt, FBC has the experience, systems, and personnel to make your next event exceptional. Learn more at fbcinc.com. Okay, and now a little bit about the series and the schedule, and then we'll dig into today's featured company, which is Triwest Healthcare. As a quick reminder, all of our webinars are complimentary and recorded. You can find them on our YouTube channel. If you sign up for alerts on our YouTube channel, you'll be notified as soon as this and any future webinars are uploaded to the channel. If you just want the PowerPoint, you can hop over to slideshare.net, which is also complimentary. Okay, here's where we are in the series, about a quarter of the way through. We are covering today Triwest Healthcare, and the series will go through November 15th, and we'll finish then with GlaxoSmithKline. We do skip the week of 4th of July. If you want to register for any of these webinars, you can use the link that's highlighted at the top, which is just our website, and you navigate over to the section called Top 40. Okay, we're assuming when we put this series together that by focusing on these large businesses that hold the lion's share of the revenue with the federal government, that most companies attending are interested in working with them potentially as subcontractors. So that will be useful to include a couple points about subcontracting that could be helpful to you. First and foremost, you want to understand the rules that the government has to abide by, which include the FAR and the DFARs, so Federal Acquisition Regulations, and then the FAR for the Defense Department. If you want to just get a quick down and dirty on our YouTube channel, we covered the FAR in 2020, and there's your link. And for the DFARs, we covered those in 2021. Okay, other complimentary webinars that we did on subcontracting. We kicked off this series with subcontracting with the primes with 6 sessions ranging from market research to compliance. We've also in 2022 covered subcontracting within all of the 15 federal departments. And then over the years, we've got some tactical and strategic webinars on subcontracting, well, over about 34 or so. All of those links will get you directly to those webinars. And again, they're all complimentary. Best practices, obviously, if you are interested in subcontracting, you're still going to need to bring something of value to the table. So as you are contacting these primes, or even if you decide to go direct, you're still going to have an area of expertise, whether it is a technical capability, a special skill set, a lower price, and you'll need to bring, again, that value to the table. So look for opportunities where you bring the most value. And by opportunities, we mean anything that can go back as far as perhaps an RFI or a sources sought, to a more graduated and sophisticated opportunity at the RFP or RFQ level. Once you've identified those opportunities, then is kind of when you take the next step to look at possible contractors to partner with, whether they are large businesses or small, or perhaps small with a designation that complements what you do. Use all of the public data that's out there. It's free. It only takes your time. And time is money, so there's nothing against using any of the paid data aggregators that exist as well. We've listed the public websites, SAM.gov, USA Spending, FPDS, and there's several more depending upon how granular you want to get, reviewing price and other information about businesses that are working with the federal government. But if you're not savvy in navigating those websites, then we certainly would encourage you to work with any of the paid data aggregators that exist in the federal market. Do your homework. I'd say about 80 to probably 90% of companies do not do their homework. So make sure that you are researching these opportunities, researching the companies. Sign up for Google Alerts for news for the agencies and departments that you're working with or want to work with, as well as the companies that you want to partner or subcontract with. Every piece of information can be helpful to you. Your capability statement should be customized specifically for the opportunity, and then weave in anything that you can about this potential partner that shows how you will complement their products or their services in the final solution. Once you have all of this information put together, you can start your, I'll call it digital execution, meaning that you start to contact some of the key players on LinkedIn. You've registered on the company website as a small business vendor. You know what associations the organization belongs to. You've also joined those associations. You know where they're speaking. You know where they're exhibiting. All of that information is helpful, and you should do this before you start calling or emailing any of the program managers or small business liaison officers, because that will be the first thing they're going to tell you to do is register on our website, and why are you calling? It's not their job to find an opportunity for you. That's your job. They are simply going to make the warm introduction once you've proven that you do have something of value to bring to them. Okay, let's dig in. Today is Triwest. This is going to be pretty quick, which is good and bad. It's good because you'll see that their contracts are fairly limited. They're obviously a large business as they come in at profile number 10. So healthy financials. They are a privately held company, so there's not going to be any stock price for them or a ton of information that's public. But here's what we've got for you. Got their website, which is a pretty good website and has some decent amount of information. If you're looking to register as a small business, they make it pretty easy to find where to go. And they do obviously have a small business outreach program. The UEI number that we pulled from SAM, which all of the data that we're going to look at here is based on this UEI. They are based in Phoenix, Arizona. Here's some LinkedIn information. Shows they've got about 1,600 employees roughly, and they are listed as hospitals and healthcare, as you can gather from the name of the company. We've got a manager of subcontract management. So this person, Ken Gibbs, here on your left, is most likely dealing more with the paperwork, and same as David, where they are not truly SBLOs. So you probably need to dig a little bit further for that information. Okay, we're going to look at the prime contracts on the civilian side, and it's spoiler alert, it's just one here, the VA. As you can gather from the name of the company, their revenues really peaked with the VA in 2020. You could see that they went from almost $3 million in fiscal year 2019 and more or less tripled that in 2020. A little bit of a dip in 2021. Starting to grow again in 2022, and then 2023, these numbers are not conclusive because this is the fiscal year that we are currently in. So just be mindful of that in 2020. And there's certainly ways that you can dig in to find more details about why their numbers tripled, perhaps related to the pandemic. Okay, on the defense side, not a lot to look at here, primarily Army, DHA and DHRA have the revenues. We went back to 2017 just to really look at some numbers here to see kind of what happened. And the company began, I believe, in it's either 1996 or 1998, so they've been around for a while. But as you can see here in 2017, fiscal year 2017, that from 17 to 18, obviously their revenues dipped there with Department of Defense and specifically the Army. On DHRA, a little bit of a dip, and then looks like there was some adjustment for perhaps an old contract in fiscal year 2021. 2023 for DHA looks like they are on the map, and perhaps this number will be growing. And there's still obviously possibilities for fiscal year 2023 because this is the year that we're currently in. And these are really the only three that we're looking at are really just the VA, DHA, and DHRA. Their top NAICS codes that you can see, the 2020, the purple is the peak, which is where we saw that 9 million. In the past slides, I'm sorry, billions, these are in billions. So physicians, and then they have it broken down to including or not including mental health specialist. And a little bit there in third-party administration of insurance and pension funds. When we break it out this way, it's a little bit easier to actually see the exact numbers and to see where things kind of grew or did not. So they more or less look like they get into the game of third-party administration around fiscal year 2021, which seems to be a growing business from, I'm just talking here, line number 2, looking at fiscal year 21 to fiscal year 22, obviously growing by leaps and bounds there. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with fiscal year 2023 for these guys. On that top line, direct health and medical insurance carriers, we do see some growth with a big spike there from 2020 over to 2021, and then also another big jump 2021 to 2022. Not much else here, I think, that is worth discussing. The numbers are pretty self-explanatory here. Contracts with contracting requirement on the civilian side pops up with Department of VA. Again, there's that 9 billion in 2020 that we talked about, which was kind of a threefold increase from fiscal year 19. 2021 drops off a little bit, not a ton, but it looks like then, as I mentioned earlier, that appears to be growing in fiscal year 22. On the defense side, again, we've got the two players here, DHA and DHRA. So just be aware of that. And they've got this 6.63 going for them already in this current fiscal year. Independent agencies, nothing showing up here. This would be where you would see anything with, let's say, GSA, National Science Foundation, these sort of independent agencies. Subcontracts awarded by Triwest. There were no subcontracts awarded that were reported. And same thing here by industry, nothing to display here. And awarded by the subcontractor, you're not going to see anything here because they did not award any subcontracts. Top 5, nothing there. On the GWACs, insurance isn't really going through GWACs, which are government-wide acquisition contracts, so they're just selling their services, professional services direct. What's coming up here for expiration that's over the subcontracting threshold is the the big contract here that they've got with the VA. I would encourage you to copy that contract number, go to sam.gov and dig in a little bit deeper to get the genesis of that, as well as looking at the number of these 29 transactions and see how they kind of played out. The conclusions here are, again, just very simple, meaning that they don't have a diverse footprint. They're dealing with the VA. They're very focused, which is, I think, a very good thing, focused on defense and veterans. So if you're not familiar with DHRA, I just took a snapshot here of their website in the lower left-hand corner as far as what DHRA does. The top right gives you a snapshot of the company website. And if you're not familiar with DHA, DHA's website is health.mil, and that's there in the lower right. Some conclusions and a little bit about the company. They're privately held, as I mentioned earlier, so you're not going to see a stock price. VA is their largest client. We talked about that that should actually be billion, sorry, for the VA in fiscal year 2020. Their DHRA revenues seem to be fairly high in 17 and 18, and then DHA with fiscal year 17. So kind of going back a little bit. They've got almost, well, 700,000, so close to 1 million healthcare professionals in their network. Company was formed in '96 and very focused as far as what they do, which we can all take a page out of their book for that. Looks like they are going to administer the TRICARE West region contract for DoD. And then found a little blurb here. I think this was maybe just in the past week that HealthNet is protesting their $65.1 billion contract award. That's found on military.com. And then the top right corner, I just kind of did a big circle here, is a screenshot of some of their C-level execs. So if you're in the health or insurance or medical industry, these guys could potentially be good to speak to. Obviously, you know where they are playing. Their sandbox is pretty limited to VA, DHA, and DHRA. Make sure you know everything that there is to know about the VA, DHRA, and DHA before you start knocking on Triwest Healthcare's door, and make sure you know everything about Triwest. So in some respects, this is good that they're that they do have a narrow focus, so that way you're not jumping around to 10 different departments and 30 different agencies where they're dealing. So again, I encourage you to go back to that VA contract, that $9 billion contract that's broken into, I think, 29 different contract actions, and dig a little deeper to get further into understanding what Triwest Healthcare is actually doing it and where they're playing and when these contracts come up for recompete. That is all that we have for Triwest. It wasn't overly complex to look at. I think the next step, again, for anybody is just to take some of these contracts and dig in a little bit deeper to find the details behind them. Thank you all for participating. Again, this is recorded, as are all of our webinars. We're at 600 plus now on YouTube. Next week, we're covering Honeywell, and the series goes through November 15th, which is a Wednesday. We'll wrap it up then with GlaxoSmithKline. If you've missed any of the webinars that you want to go back and hear more about, they're on our website under the Top 40 tab here, which is highlighted at the top of your screen. And that's it. So thanks for participating. We hope to see you next Wednesday.